All right. It's
All right. Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, we'd like to give our praise, honor, and glory to Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of great millstone to tell us his truth, and salutations to the hopeful elect that's around the four corners of the globe. And the elect begins with the 144,000. Yahawah, who the world ignorantly calls God and Jehovah, BAHASHAM is in the name. YAHAWASHI, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, the Rakakwadash, which is the Holy Spirit. We're the brothers of the great millstone Chicago camp. I'm the brother I want to join with.
Shalom, the brother Ibadia.
Come back at you, brothers and sisters of the household of faith of the Hopeful Right Select with another lesson. And Lord, when we hope this lesson be edifying through the spirit and power, YAHAWASHI. Once again, we hope this lesson is edifying. As you can see the title, a world ruled in righteousness, man. And who's going to rule this world, man? Ultimately in righteousness. Hey, beginning with YAHAWASHI. You're going to have King David coming back. You're going to have his, his 12 disciples. You're going to have the governing body, the 144,000, man. And ultimately, we're going to be ruling this world in righteousness, man. Because if you look at the world today, what do you see, man? You don't see no type of justice. You see murder in the street. You see adultery running rampant, man. You see the people depressed, the people mourning on a wide, on a worldwide scale. Because ultimately, who we have in rulership, man? Because servants was supposed to rule, man. Esau Edom doesn't institute the law, statutes, commandments within the planet Earth, man. So ultimately, you wind up with something called Babylon the Great, which is America. Because this place doesn't have equity. This place doesn't have uprightness. This place doesn't have righteousness, man. But it ultimately pushes, those said things that are contrary to what a kingdom's supposed to have, man. And you ultimately have a state of decay, not only here in America, but it's spreading that worldwide. So Yahawah BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI is bringing a kingdom that's not going to fall, that's going to ultimately last forever. And we're going to be ruling this world in righteousness, man, under the banner, under the ways of the law, statutes, and commandments that Yahawah BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI has always told us to govern this world with, man. But if I may, real quick, if I can read this Isaiah 2.
I got it right here.
This is the book of Isaiah 2:1, and it reads, and I'm reading in my 1611 King James Version Bible, and it says Isaiah prophesied the coming of Hamashiach's kingdom. Right. Wickedness is the cause of Yahweh's forsaking. He exhorted to fear because of the powerful effects of Yahweh's majesty. But this is the book of Isaiah 2:1, the word that Isaiah, the son of Amos, saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem, right? So both southern and northern kingdom. And it shall come to pass in the last days, because we're living in the last of the last days, that the mountain of Yahweh's house shall be established, and the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it. So the kingdom that Yahawah BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI is bringing on earth is going to what? It's going to stand up top all these other governments and all these other kingdoms, man. Because it talks about that in Daniel 7. It talks about, I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit. Because when upon Yahawah's return, he's ultimately going to devour and destroy these said kingdoms. And Babylon the Great, America, is going to be that first kingdom, that first government he destroys, man. Because it talks about in Revelations also, the Lord had many crowns upon his head, So the Lord is going to consume these said kingdoms, these said governments, and establish his kingdom on the planet Earth. Hey, Israel, we're going to be ruling in righteousness. We're going to be the number one government here on the planet Earth, man. And everybody is going to be governed by the laws, statutes, and commandments, man. But it says, and all nations shall flow into it. And all nations are going to flow into what? Ultimately, what? They're going to be keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. We're going to be ushering the law, statutes, and commandments across the four corners of the world. Even talks about that in Isaiah 60. These nations are going to give us the best that they have. They're going to give us, their gold, their iron. But ultimately, man, all nations is going to flow into it, meaning what? That we're going to institute the ways of Yahawah BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI across the four corners of the world, whether you like it or whether you don't, man. It says, verse 3, and many people shall go and say, come ye, and let us go up into the mountain of the Lord Yahweh, to the house of Yahweh of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths, for out of Zion shall go forth the law, and of the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. Right? Because everybody is not happy under the rulership of the so-called white man, man. Hey, here you have Job 90:24, the earth is given to the hands of the wicked. Esau Edom controls the whole world. But here you have it, the whole world doesn't like this devil, man. But ultimately, starting with Yahawah, when the Israelites get into power, man, hey, everybody is going to be happy to serve us, man.
Hey, Salakiak, hold on. I really got to answer this. I'm gonna pause the lesson.
All right, Con.
All right, Salaki about that. It's back on.
Con. Isaiah 2, verse 3. And many people shall go and say, Come ye, and let us go unto the mountain of the Lord Yahweh, to the house of the power of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law, and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. So ultimately, what? Hey, the standard is going to be the law, statutes, commandments, man. We're going to be ruling this earth in righteousness, man. And these other nations are going to be happy to serve us. Because like I was saying, here in this kingdom, here you have the so-called white man, these elites, these Amalekites ruling the whole world, but ultimately nobody respects them, man. Nobody respects the king that runs this world, man, because what? He doesn't rule this world in rightness. He doesn't rule this world in equity. He doesn't rule this world in the way it's supposed to be ran, man. So ultimately, when YAHAWASHI comes down, with the kingdom, this world will be ruled in righteousness and fairness and equity, man, and uprightness. But you got it out.
Con, this Nehemiah 9:13, and it says, "Thou camest down upon Mount Sinai and spakest with them from heaven, and gavest them right judgments and true laws and good statutes and commandments." Hey, so this is what we need to govern the earth properly. All right. You can't just figure this out on your own, man. You need the blueprint from Yahweh Bashim Yahushai.
Yep,
Because he ultimately Yahweh Bashim Yahushai knows and determines what's right and wrong.
that's right.
In order for it to flourish, in order for the earth to flourish, these must be kept and adhered to. Once you start going outside of this, outside of the laws, the right judgments, the true laws, and the good statutes, which only comes from Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, now it doesn't come from the mind of man.
Mm-hmm.
It comes from the heavens. And once you go outside of that, everything decays and death comes forth. That's why this has to be force implemented on the planet Earth.
That's right.
And that's what we're gonna do. It says you're gonna rule the nations with the rod of iron.
That's right. Can I get
So,
this for you? I buy it since I had quoted it. This is
con,
the book of Proverbs 29:2. Because everything is not ran the way it's supposed to. So ultimately, what? The people are erring, man. The people are going off. The people, since there's no sound judgment going within the planet Earth, everything is in a state of decay. But this is the book of Proverbs 29:2. It says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. Right? So the righteous is not in authority right now. Who is in authority? Hey, the wicked. So since the wicked is in authority, because it talks about he's clean contrary to that of the ways of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. So wait, what's considered right is left to this devil. What is considered up is down to this devil. So it's ultimately the things that he's doing. He's ultimately what making the people err. The people are starting to mourn. The people are starting to come up against him, man. And ultimately, this is what happens to an unwise king, man. As it says in Sirach 10, it says, an unwise king will destroy of his people, man. This is what this devil is doing. But when the kingdom of heaven is established on the earth, ultimately what? Fairness, as I mentioned before, fairness, equity, and uprightness, righteousness will be the standard, man. And everybody will have fairness. Everybody will be treated right, man. Look what this devil is doing to the people, man. Taking away wages, destroying the people, through philosophies and things of that nature, man. But ultimately, what? The standard will be the law, statutes, commandments, and everybody will rejoice. Because it talks about when this devil was taken out of power in Isaiah 14, it says what? The trees is going to rejoice, the people, you know?
con. He's a bloodshedder.
That's right.
Con, man. The earth is mourning. All right, the animals, the earth, they're all on our side, man. They're waiting
Mm-hmm.
for the manifestations of the sons of God.
Yep.
So like the brother's going into, man. This has to be implemented. There's no other way around it.
That's right. Hey, buddy, did you have that Habakkuk 1 and 4 in the NLT by chance?
Con, this Habakkuk 1 and 4 in the NLT. The law has become paralyzed,
Mm-hmm.
and there is no justice in the courts. The wicked far outnumber the righteous, so that justice has become perverted.
Right. Justice has become perverted, man. Because this devil is in power. I believe, going into the, true understanding of the Habakkuk 1 and 5, that's when you ultimately have, the wicked rulers of our nation
Mhm.
ultimately treating the people in an unfair manner, man. But you apply it to Esau today, man. What is he doing? Justice is not going forth. The law, statutes, and commandments is not going forth. So that means what? Justice is being downplayed, man. And with justice being downplayed, you have nothing but wickedness, shrouding the planet Earth, man. Because he even talks about that. What's that? Isaiah 25. It talks about gross darkness to people, man. Because Esau Edom has ultimately destroyed the minds of the people, man. In many ways that, man, since this devil been in power for about what's that, came back into power for about what's that, about 500 something years now. This devil has did nothing but what, destroy the minds of the people and ultimately spread wickedness, man. Because in Malachi,
Yep.
it talks about what's that, Malachi 1, it calls him the border of wickedness, man. So ultimately, this kingdom needs to be destroyed. The Lord is going to renovate this place by the way of fire, and ultimately the Lord is going to set up that righteous standard, which is what, the kingdom, man.
I got one.
Mm-hmm.
Wisdom of Solomon 6:18. And love is the keeping of her laws, and giving heed unto her laws is the assurance of incorruption. So
Mm-hmm.
you because it says in the Psalms, man, then I will not be ashamed once I have respect unto all thy commandments. So
Yep.
this is the insurance of incorruption. You can't go wrong. If you follow all this, you can't go wrong. You know, everything's gonna flourish, prosper. You're gonna live forever.
That's right.
This the giving heed unto her laws is the insurance of incorruption, man.
Yeah, so ultimately, hey, with following the ways of the Lord, man, hey, it's impossible for you to fail, man.
Right.
But with this devil in power, since he pushes corruption, since he pushes wickedness, hey, ultimately, the people is going to err, man. You know. But I got one real quick for you, Ibaya.
Okay.
This the book of Micah 4 verse 1. But in the last days it shall come to pass that the mountain, and a mountain represents a government. It says that the mountain of the house of the Lord, YAHAWAH, shall be established in the top of the mountains, right? So above all these other governments, and it shall be exalted above the hills, and people shall flow unto it, right? Because mountains and hills represents what? Big governments and small governments, man. It says, and many nations shall come and say, come and let us go to the mountain of the Lord and to the house of the power of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For the law shall go forth out of Zion, and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. And right, because it talks about that in what's that, Revelations 21, when New Jerusalem come down from that fathership, man. And we're going to be putting this place back in order, man. It starts out with what? Us preaching this word, the destruction of America, you know, and ultimately the elect coming down and ultimately reestablishing this world, beginning with YAHAWASHI, man. You know? So ultimately, what? The first 1,000 years of us establishing the kingdom, man, we're going to be putting this world back into check, man. You know? Law, statutes, and commandments is going to be instituted across the four corners of the world, man. We're going to put these heathens back into subjection, ultimately to teach them the right way, because with Esau Edom in power, Esau Edom has given everybody what? A license to sin, man. Because ultimately with this devil in power, everybody feel like that wickedness is the answer, man. But we're going to what? Once we establish the kingdom, we're going to say that what? Righteousness is the true standard of YAHAWASHI that promotes life, that promotes true living, you know? And that's going to come for what? The Lord establishing the kingdom here on planet Earth, man. Perfecting us and ultimately what? Teaching us, the correct way that we may what? Teach these other nations, man, which is the correct way to walk.
Con, I got one for you, bro, just to back you up. John 10:10. The thief cometh not but for to steal and to kill and to destroy.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And that's nothing but what the so-called white man has done ever since he came out of the Renaissance period, man, and deceived the nations. As the scriptures say, the devil was loosed for a little season. Then what? He went around the earth pillaging and stealing, killing, and destroying. across the four corners of the earth. All right, it says what? I am come that they might have life and that they might have it more abundantly. So ultimately, YAHAWASHI is going to bring us life more abundantly. Once the law, statutes, commandments is implemented, we're going to see what it truly means to live.
That's right.
Because this is not living. This is bugged out. You know, this is just perverse, and it's just, you know, when the wicked are in authority, the people mourn, man. This is bullshit. All right. So we want to live actual life, you know, have actual food, water, women, families, land. That's life, man. We don't have any of that. You know?
Yep.
Like, what the fuck is this? The thief cometh not but for to steal, kill, and destroy, man.
And right, you know, since this devil got the sword, he does that on all levels, man. Because this devil weaponizes everything from the things that you watch, from the things that you eat, you know, from the things that you actually that you're seeing on a day-to-day basis. You know, because it's witchcraft all around us, man. And it's you know, since this devil has the sword, he's using it in you know, malicious means, man. You know, even on the level to you don't even know you're being destroyed, man. You know, you could, hey, from the air that we're breathing in, man, from the food that we're eating, because I was breaking bread with the brothers yesterday. That how they was talking about how, you know, certain foods they used to eat that we thought was healthy, and then we actually go into the actually what's in these actual so-called healthy foods, and ultimately how it's been destroying us for all this time, man. Hey, this devil got to go, man. You know, hey, from the simple fact that water that we drink is contaminated, man. Water that we actually supposed to get freely, it's destroying us, man. Hey, apples and oranges is destroying us. How the fuck is that even possible, man? You know? So this devil weaponizes everything on a large degree, man, from the foods that we eat, from the air that we breathe, from the clothes that we wear. So that's why, you know, this is what this devil is doing, man. So when the kingdom of heaven is established, man, the things that's supposed to do us good is going to do us good. Hey, through wisdom, man. You know?
And
but I actually got you got it, everybody, Salakia.
No, so like I was just say, don't be surprised when this devil gets put in slavery, man. Because like the brother said, what the fuck is going on, man? He's he's poisoning our food our whole lifetime, killing our testosterone. Like, bro, he's going into slavery, man. And Jake, nothing's gonna stop that. You can't say Jake. Some Jakes want to save the Edomites, man. Why? This must end. That's the point of you know, that's the gospel, man. That's the good news, man. That
That's
this
right.
is gonna end. That the throne of David is coming back to the earth, man.
Hey, before I get this to Rock 10 and 1, I had sent you something through text, you know, going into the word renovation, if you still had it by chance.
Yeah, I got it.
Because the Lord is coming back to renovate this place, man, by the way of fire, man. The Lord is ultimately what? Ushering out the old and ushering in the new, man.
No, I don't see. You texted me?
Yeah.
Nah. Definition of renovation?
Yeah, through the etymology.
Okay, let me get it. It says, oh wow, renovation, spiritual rebirth wrought by the Holy Spirit, rebuilding, reconstruction, making new. Yeah, that's that kainos, making new after decay.
Right. So essentially what's about to happen right now, man, because a biblical prophecy, which we're seeing right now, everything is ushering up what towards the downfall and the destruction of America by fire. And ultimately what? Because there's going to be a new world order, whether these people like it or not. But these people, it's going to be a new world order that these people don't see coming, man. You know, hey, they got the so-called white man's new world order by the way of this this mark of the beast, which is the RFID chip. But YAHAWASHI is bringing a true new world orders by the way of what? The Lord destroying this place and the Lord establish his kingdom on the planet Earth, where righteousness is going to be the standard, man. And righteousness will be pushed, you know? So the Lord is coming back to renovate this place by fire. Ultimately, what? The Lord is going to decay this place because the Lord is decaying this place right now on all levels. And the Lord is going to establish his kingdom on the planet Earth. You know, that kainos, you know, goes into refreshing. And ultimately, what? It's going to be, you know, it's going to be, you know, what's the word for it? it's going to be beneficial for everybody, man. You know,
Of course.
because it's going to promote life.
Exactly. And it even says in Revelation that this is the the tree has the healing of the nations, man.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to heal the nations. It's going to heal the whole earth.
That's right.
And this, bro, fuck the white man. His new world order is so weak anyway. Like, who would want to live in that?
That's right.
Like, it's not life.
I got one for you real quick, brother.
Con.
This is the book of Sirach, better known as Ecclesiasticus 10:1. A wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered. And we know that the so-called white man is not a wise judge, man, because everything he's doing is ultimately destroying the minds of the people, destroying the world, destroying the plant life, destroying the wildlife. You know, destroying the minds of the people, as I mentioned before. Going back to that Proverbs 29:2, which we read, man. You know, hey, when the righteous bear rule, the people rejoice, but when but ultimately when the wicked reign, the people mourn, man. You know, loose paraphrasing. It says, as the judge of the people is in himself, so are his officers, and what manner of the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. So if you got the top, because who's truly ruling this world, man? Hey, the top baking class elite, man. You know, which are small hats. They're
Which are
controlling
all
the world,
small
right?
hats.
Yeah, all small hats, and what they're controlling the world. So everybody that's under them, they're going to be wicked also, man. You know, just look at EP Island, man. ST Island. Just look at the trafficking of children, man. You know, just look at your wicked and corrupt politicians that set up in these different offices, man, passing these corrupt laws, which come ultimately all the way on top by these different high class elites, man. Look at what it's doing to the people, man. So ultimately, what everybody that's following this damn devil, they're going to be wicked also, man. Because what the people follow the vibration of the king, man. It reads, verse 3 says, an unwise king destroyeth his people, but through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited. The power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord. In the due time, he will set over it one that is profitable. And what is one that is profitable, man? YAHAWASHI, the kingdom of heaven. Because what? We're going to be promoting a lifestyle, man. We're going to be, because America promotes a death style by the way of what? Push your wickedness, saying that wickedness is okay. Hey, you can do what you want. You have a license to sin, do what you want. You know, YAHAWASHI is not going to care what you do. So ultimately, what? That's going to be a thing of the past, man. The Lord is going to set over one that is proper, starting with YAHAWASHI. You know, we're going to have a world, ruled in righteousness. Where ultimately, if you do any type of wickedness, man, you're going to be accountable for it. And ultimately, this is what's coming to the planet Earth, man. If I may jump down, this is Sirach 10 and verse 8. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. Because, hey, what's that? 206, it says what? For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth, man. So ultimately, what? The Lord is, taking down this man's kingdom and ushering in the kingdom of heaven, man. You know, where ultimately righteousness is going to be, the standard. And I'm going to jump down again. Verse 10, it says, the physician, Sirach 10:10, it says, the physician cutteth off a long disease, and he that is a day today a king, tomorrow shall die. And who is that disease? The so-called white man. Who is the physician? YAHAWASHI, man. The Lord is going to cut off the true cancer of the earth, man. That's spreading this wickedness. That's spreading this deceit. That's spreading this wickedness. That's ultimately shutting up, true righteousness, man. And the Lord is going to get rid of this devil, man, because he's the true cancer. He's the true gangrene of the earth, man. But you got it, brother.
Yeah, Con, I love Sirach 10:10, man.
Yeah, I bring it out almost every other lesson.
It's a long disease, man. The earth is in a state of dis-ease. All right, because of this devil and his policy. I really got Daniel 2:35.
You got it up.
Daniel 2 is going into the Nebuchadnezzar's dream of the statue.
Perfect.
Which represents the four major kingdoms that are going to rule until the throne of David comes back. And so basically, Daniel was interpreting the dream. So I'm going to start. It says, Daniel 2:34. Thou sawest so that a stone was cut out without hands, which smote the image upon his feet that were of iron and clay, and brake them to pieces.
Right,
Then,
because if I may add, because this is where we're at right now. We're at the bottom of the toes, man. What's that part iron, part clay? And that rock, being YAHAWASHI, man.
and
Because
that,
we're all, you got it, Oxalakia.
no, I think we're going to say the same thing, but that iron and clay represents the revived Roman Empire, which is
Mm-hmm.
America, which is where we're in right now.
Because it talks about, it's going to be, what's that, partly weak, partly strong, you know? And we're seeing the decay of this place right now, man.
See, I pulled up this statue on the screen, man.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so these are the empires that are going to rule. And as you can see, it basically gets weaker over time. It's gold, silver, bronze, iron to clay, to iron and clay.
That's right.
So, but look, this is what is going to happen. Daniel 2:35. Then was the iron, the clay, the brass, the silver, and the gold broken off to pieces together, and became like the chaff of the summer threshing floors. And the wind carried them away, that there was no place found for them. And the stone, which represents Yahawashi, that smote the image, became a great mountain and filled the whole earth.
It became a great mountain and filled the whole earth, man, because after the destruction of the revival, the revival of Rome, which is America, and its allies, because ultimately America's allies is going to turn against this place, man. It says that it was that Revelation 17, the beast shall hate the whore. But ultimately, when YAHAWASHI, destroyed his kingdom, man, he's going to establish his kingdom on the planet Earth, man. Because it talks about it talks about that. Then I believe it's Daniel's 2. It says the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom even forever and ever. So the Lord's, this is YAHAWASHI's kingdom. The Lord's kingdom is going to reign forever, man. This is the last dominion of heathen rulership, man, here on the planet Earth. Because it talks about, what's that, Nahum? I believe it's the first chapter that says affliction shall not rise up a second time.
Yep.
So ultimately, hey, this is it, man. Hey, everything that we're witnessing right now, hey, this is the last, domain of heathen rulership, man. As I had quoted the Daniels earlier, I'll be held to the thrones were cast. I believe that's Daniel 7:9. I'll be held to the thrones were cast down. The Ancient of Days did sit. Grab that real quick, Bible shot.
Daniel 7:9. I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit, whose garment was white as snow, and the hair of his head like the pure wool.
Right, I be held to the thrones were cast down. And that's talking about heathen rulership, man. Hey, Yahweh's going to send his son YAHAWASHI back, because in Revelations it says YAHAWASHI had many crowns upon his head. Meaning what? The several kingdoms and governments that YAHAWASHI is going to ultimately destroy, man. He's going to take it away from these heathens, man, because Moab think they got next, Ham think they got next, Ammon think they got next, but ultimately who truly has next, man? YAHAWASHI. And ultimately by default is going to be what? The kingdom of Israel, man. So ultimately what? YAHAWASHI is coming back to establish his kingdom on the planet Earth, man.
It says, and his throne was like the fiery flame, and his wheels as burning fire.
Talking about those chariots. And that's what YAHAWASHI is coming back with, man. He's coming back with the host of heaven, man. You can read about that. What's that in 2nd Esdras, the 13th chapter? But that's another lesson for another day. How YAHAWASHI and the angels are going to do war with the so-called white man.
It says, verse 10, it says, a fiery stream issued and came forth from before him. Thousands and thousands ministered unto him, and 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him.
Talking about the angels. Yep.
The judgment was set, and the books were open.
Yep, the judgment was set, and the books were open, man, because ultimately through YAHAWASHI, we have this understanding, man. Of the Holy Scriptures. I believe it talks about that in Revelations. I forget which chapter it is. It talks about who's worthy to unloosen the seals.
Yep.
I believe that's Revelations. What's that? Revelations 5 or somewhere around there.
I believe so.
Yeah, but that's what the Lord is coming back to do, man. Hey, everything is set in stone, man. Hey, we're seconds away, really, from the true destruction of this man's kingdom, man. Because things are moving fast, man. Time is speeding up. Because we're coming into a time where the Lord's kingdom is about to be established here on the planet Earth, man. America's about to be destroyed. Wickedness is about to be a thing of the past. You can grab what you grab in Isaiah, and after they can grab Isaiah 65 and 17.
Yeah, this Revelation 5 and 5 or 5 and 4. And I wept much because no man was found worthy to open and to read the book, neither to look thereupon. And one of the elders saith unto me, Weep not, behold, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the root of David, hath prevailed to open the books and to loose the 7 seals thereof.
And exactly right, man. It's through this understanding in which YAHAWASHI, because YAHAWASHI was ultimately the only one that was able to unloosen the seals. Which mean what? To get to this understanding, ultimately unlock the mysteries and things like that to be given unto us. And that's what gives us hope and gives us comfort, knowing what's to come. And we know what's to come because understanding these scriptures, we understand the future, man. As the other Yaki say, the beginning, the middle, and the end, man. And we understand the end that this man's kingdom is about to be destroyed. And it talks about what's that? YAHAWASHI said is your father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom, and ultimately we understand this by the way of prophecy, man. What's to come, what's about to happen, and what's to come, in the future, man. And we're in that said future right now, man. And it was ultimately through the understanding which YAHAWASHI ultimately unlocked to give to us to understand these things, man.
No, because Scripture said wisdom bring it to a kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
So we needed this, the understanding being sent down, the books being open. That basically kickstarted the whole process of Esau going down. And it says, "I will hew them by the words of the prophets," roughly paraphrasing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying, so the prophet starts, basically what this is. We got the Holy Spirit.
That's right.
And we stood upon our feet.
Great fear upon him. Yep.
Yep, that Lion of the tribe of Judah, the root of David, Yahawashi Mashiach, prevailed to, get this whole thing in motion, man.
Yeah, I got one more scripture, but just to add on to your point, Ibaya, and without YAHAWASHI loosening these seals, we'd be through, man. Because without the understanding, we have no hope. We'll be in that dead state, man. And with the hope that YAHAWASHI has given us by giving us the understanding, we understand what's to come, man. It gives us hope, for the future that we're arriving in right now, man. Which is what the Lord restoring our people, the Lord giving us the kingdom, the Lord ultimately healing us, man. And that ultimately comes through the understanding what YAHAWASHI ultimately unloose, man. To give to us, to give us hope, to give us the faith to keep moving forward, man.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing that a kingdom is coming here on planet Earth. Knowing these said things through the understanding what YAHAWASHI has given us, man.
Yeah, these are the words of eternal life, man.
That's right.
And I really got Luke 1 and 31.
The
angel talking to Yahawashi's mother. And Luke 1 and 31. And behold, thou shalt conceive in thy womb, meaning what? Through sex, and bring forth the son, and thou shalt call his name Yahawashi, because he's going to save his people, man, from his sins. All right. And verse 32, it says, he shall be great and shall be called the Son of the Highest. And the Lord Yahweh shall give him unto him the throne of his father David.
Mm-hmm.
So his father is David. Okay. All throughout the Psalms, and it tells you, it says, the Lord has sworn in truth unto David, he will not turn from it. Of the fruit of thy body, I will set up the kingdom, roughly paraphrasing. So 33, it says, and he shall reign, showing you that Yahawashi came from the seed line of man.
Mm-hmm.
And he shall reign over the house of Jacob forever, and of his kingdom there shall be no end.
Yeah, no end. Meaning what? It's going to last forever, even forever and ever, man. But I actually had two more, if I may.
You said Isaiah 60?
Yeah, Isaiah 65 and 17, and I got the other one.
Okay, which one you want?
I'm gonna read the 2 Peter's real quick. This is the book of 2 Peter's 3 and verse 10. The point is in verse 13. 2 Peter's 3 and verse 10, it says, but the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burnt up. Hey, Malachi 4 says what? It says, the day cometh, thou shalt burn as an oven, man. All the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble. Right. So ultimately, it says, that works that are therein shall be burnt up. And what is the works that this place produce? And just to summarize, hey, nothing but wickedness, man. Hey, that's going to be a thing of the past when the Lord destroy this place with fire, man. It says, seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness? Going into that word conversation, which goes into your lifestyle and your conduct, man. You know, how should you be living your life knowing that YAHAWASHI is coming back to destroy this place, man? Should you be hand in hand with this place, or should you be ultimately, to the best of your ability, seeking out YAHAWASHI and his ways, man? It says, looking for and hastening unto the coming of the day of Yahweh, wherein the heavens shall be on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for a new heavens and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness, right? Pointing to that word, new goes into kainos, which means refresh, man. And this is what we're looking for, man. Hey, day in, day out, from the time that we wake up in the morning to the time that we wake up in the morning and pray, from the time that we go to sleep and pray. Hey, we ultimately what? We ask you, how about YAHAWASHI? How long, go, Lord? Until what? He ultimately, uplift us up, destroy this kingdom, and give us the kingdom, man.
God, yeah, that's beautiful, man. Wherein dwelleth righteousness, Really touching up on the topic of the lesson, man. The world and righteousness.
That's right. You had that Isaiah 65:17, big up.
Isaiah 65:17. For behold, I create a new heavens and a new earth. The former shall not be remembered nor come into mind.
Right, the former shall not be remembered nor come into mind, man. Because what? The Lord is going to destroy this place by thermonuclear destruction, and the Lord is going to usher in his kingdom, man.
Yeah, man. This weak ass kingdom not gonna be remembered nor come into mind because it's not worth a fuck. Like, it's just gonna be like a bad dream. Then it even says like, oh, this is the man who ruled,
Mm-hmm. Let me
and
see.
the Edomites are gonna be a big joke in the kingdom.
I got one more for you, Abaya Salaki. This came into mind. This is the book of Isaiah 9 and verse 6.
That's spirit.
For unto us a child is born, and unto us a son is given. All right, YAHAWASHI. It says, and the government shall be upon his shoulder, and his name shall be called Wonderful Counselor, the Mighty Power, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. And right, all those are titles, man. What is the true names? You got Yahweh, which is the Father. You got YAHAWASHI, which is the Son. It says, of the increase of his government and peace, there shall be no end upon the throne of David, and upon his kingdom, to order it and to establish it with judgment and with justice from henceforth, for even forever. The zeal of the Lord of hosts will perform this. And right, this is what the Lord, I got to underline this. I don't even know why that last half wasn't underlined, but this is what YAHAWASHI.
I know, bro. I'd be like, I think that too. Like, damn, how did I not underline this?
Yeah, so ultimately, this is what the Lord is bringing to planet Earth, man. Equity, righteousness, fairness, peace, And ultimately, that's coming after the destruction of America, man. We see it clear as day, man.
Hey, like the elder bro Kapatazar said, man, it's always going to be some more of it.
Some more of it, yep.
So of his increase of his government and peace, there shall be no end.
Mm-hmm.
It's just going to get more greater, more peaceful, more abundant. More, man.
Calm, bro. That's pretty much all I had. You had anything?
No, that's all I had right there.
Con. So with that being said, we hope this lesson was edifying. We want to end off with all praise, honor, glory to YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, RAKAKWADASH. Double honor to the elders and the apostles of great millstone, taught us the truth, and salutations to the hopeful elect that's around the four corners of the globe. Lord, we hope this lesson was edifying. Till next time, Kwam Yasharallah, Shalom, Abba Ball.
Shalom, Abba Ball. Shalom.
Shalom.